coming up. With a broken promise ringing in their ears, thousands of black musicians fled the South.
It is still a Jim Crow reality.
You couldn't even walk on the same side of the street as a white person.
They joined the greatest migration in U.S. history.
Thomas Dorsey, blues musician.
Mahalia Jackson, Sally Martin.
They came looking for jobs, looking for respect.
For them, Chicago was a city of renewed faith and bold aspirations.
They made the music. You had honky-tonk music, your church music. You had blues when you were feeling bad.
With a sanctified mix of blues and jazz, they formed an explosive new genre called gospel.
Chicago, the Mecca, the hub of gospel activity.
The birth of gospel, next on Chicago Stories. The sun was out in Bronzeville, despite the cold. Most Southside residents were going about their business on January 6, 2006, when Pilgrim Baptist Church caught fire.
I was on my way to the church, and the custodian called. He says, "The church is on fire." I said, "Stop playing with me." I remember the devastation and the horror.
It was a famed architectural landmark, but it meant much more to Chicago's black community.
Generations and generations of people. The whole community came out in tears.
This is a great loss. This is a terrible loss.
Great loss to this community, a great loss to this city, and a great loss to the people who have been through those doors.
Pilgrim Church was synonymous with gospel music, part of a musical legacy that dated back to the Great Migration, when African Americans fled the South. This is where Thomas Andrew Dorsey, known as the father of gospel music, led the choir for 50 years.
We would not have the kind of black music that we have, not even just black gospel music, just black music, period.
Aretha Franklin, James Cleveland, Albertina Walker, the Caravans, Shirley Caesar. Anybody that was anybody that's on the gospel circuit stopped at Pilgrim because they all appreciated the music of Thomas Dorsey.
As Pilgrim burned, the congregation knew they would endure. The church might have gone up in flames, but the faith of black people had never been bound by traditional walls. Instead, it had been held strong through music.
This destruction of Pilgrim Baptist Church put a ripple here, but it still stands as a memory. Gospel music relates hope 24/7. It's hope.
Long before gospel emerged in Chicago, its roots took hold in fields and plantations across the Deep South.
Black music has always been a means by which the early enslaved Africans came to understand themselves as a people, that while they come from various areas on the continent, that they have in common this cultural technology of the ring shout.
The ring shout, an African tradition that included elements of sacred dance and prayer to their own gods.
They would take a gourd, a big pot, turn it upside down to muffle the sound, and then they would scream and holler their African chants and rhythms till they go into a frenzy and get the spirit. And then they would be all right for a little while. They had some release.
They don't speak the same languages, but they have that ritual in common.
Oftentimes, the slave owners would not allow this worship. They were afraid of it. What are they trying to communicate? So there was a real push to Christianize the enslaved Africans.
Slaves were allowed to attend the same church as slave owners, where they learned the hymns of the Church of England. But they took the traditional European hymn and incorporated the ring shout. The result was an entirely new song, the Black Spiritual.
When the Africans were creating their music, there was no instruments. They actually were forbidden to read and write, and so the leader would lead out the song.
He heard my cry, and
The congregation would listen and sing along. The notes don't have to be perfect. Everybody's singing along. Africans' own culture included call and response, improvisations, rhythm, emotion, and those are very important to keep their culture and their spirit together.
While the traditional church, with its message of deliverance, was soothing, blacks saw the hypocrisy coming from the pulpit.
We were creating a new theology, whereas the enslaver was trying to put forth a doctrine, be docile. But yet, people of African descent said, we're going to speak the truth of the stories that we have heard in the Bible. An example is, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave.
oh, freedom.
Now, the enslaver said, be obedient, but the song says, before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave. Oh, freedom.
There was